Hey, everybody. Hope your Tuesday is off to a good start. I just was having a conversation with somebody about the nature of prayer and confession specifically. And they talked about how strange it feels for them sometimes to confess. That these conversations with God feel so one-sided and then kind of silly at points where it's like, they'll get into this point of trying to share the story with God, and then they get this weird spot of like, what am I doing? Like, you know what happened. Like, here's where I'm at, and here's where I am. Like, who am I to tell you? Like, why am I telling you this story? And we just had this great conversation about prayer and how, confession is for us and just the different ways people pray. And I think I've shared this before in some context, but I love it, so I'm going to share it again. And it's this revelation I had about prayer a couple years ago, and it centers on a friend of mine who has 3 kids. One of them talks a lot, one very emotional, and one very stoic. And the idea of a broken toy, where if a broken toy happens in their house, like if it's the oldest son's toy, he might come up and just talk and explain here's what happened and here's why it shouldn't happen, and just he'll talk a lot. And there's another one that would probably just run up crying and just struggle to come up with words or articulate any sort of a complete sentence about what happened. And then there's another little girl who, if a toy breaks, like she's gonna walk up to her dad and she's gonna hold up the toy and just, that's it. There'll be no words. And my friend, who's a good father but not a perfect one, like even he is gonna know like how to meet his kids where they are. And it was something that was so freeing to me, because I'm not somebody who can just step into a prayer closet and go for 3 hours or just talk. Like, it's not me. I relate a lot with that little girl who just sometimes needs to lift up what's broken. And God meets us where we are. But the crucial thing in that, and the big takeaway from the conversation I was having with this person was that it matters that it's us that brings the toy. That's why confession matters. It's not about revealing to God what we've done. He knows. But the power of letting go of shame, the power of bringing that to light, comes from us acknowledging, hey, I did make a mistake, and there's shame attached to it, there's guilt, there's anxiety, there's all these things attached to it. But I believe in you and your grace more than I believe in my anxiety or my shame. So verse for today, Proverbs 28:13, he who conceals his transgressions will not prosper, but he who confesses and forsakes them will find compassion. Hope you have a wonderful Tuesday. I'll close with a quick word of prayer and send you on your way. God, we love you. We thank you, and I thank you for being a good father who meets us where we are, a father who knows his children and all their unique traits and how they communicate, how they talk, and what they need from you. That you don't treat all of us the exact same, but you treat us fairly and lovingly. And God, I just pray that if there's anything in any of our lives that need that confession, that need to be dragged out into the light, to lose that power of shame, I just pray that this would be a sign, this would be a trigger to do that. And I just pray that you would be gracious and loving through that, as you always are. We pray this in your Son's heavenly name. Amen. Have a great rest of your week.